Welcome to the Ski and Sugar Show. I'm your boy Ski.
And I'm Sugar.
We got the tea. We got the tea. Sometimes it's gonna be sweet. Sometimes it's gonna be salty. It all depends what's in the tea. We discuss an array of topics here, stemming from music to sports to relationships and many, many more. But the main thing we do here is hot topics. Now, before we get to hot topics, I'm going to speak on my hero, the late great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You know, his I Have a Dream speech around the Lincoln Memorial still stands out to me up to the day. You know, he opened gates for us to be doing what we doing right now. You know, and a lot of people to be doing what they doing. You know, when he, preached of everybody having equal rights and one day, white kids and black kids be equal. You know, we ain't equal, but we way closer than we ever was then. You know, you got to look at
Mhm.
that speech was in 1963, 60 years ago, when we had no say. So for us to be even at the table to speak right now, his sacrifice was not for nothing. Now, with that being said, I will also like to give our condolences from the Ski and Sugar Show for Dexter Scott King, the youngest son of the late great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., passed January 22nd, 2024 from prostate cancer. You know, he also was an activist himself of civil rights. So, with that, salute to the King family. You know, you have our condolences.
Absolutely.
Now, without further ado, we are about to go on to hot topics. What's going on, Sugar?
Okay. Well, today we do have hot topics, but before we get started, I would like for you guys to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and please hit the like button, your notification button, so you won't miss any content that come out at any time of the day. Also, share this video with anyone you can share it with. And everything on this channel is alleged or in our opinion. So first thing we're going to start with the hot topic of the day is pastors because they're just too much. They're just too much. Now we might have to do like a part two or part three. This might be part one for the pastors because the pastors are they're pastoring all over the place,
That they
all
is.
kind of ways. It's just ridiculous. But I'm just saying,
Just
I'm
saying.
gonna start, and I'm gonna start with this young lady named Michelle Lau. Now, Michelle Lau, she used to live with T.D. Jake's daughter, Cora Jakes, and she lived with her for a while. And she stated that Cora Jakes and a spiritual advisor, they did a ritual on her. And she stated that it forced her to give up her son. Now, I know that might sound crazy to some people, but those things actually do take place at times. Now, she's been fighting for her son since like 2016, but it
Mm.
didn't go viral to like 2018, 19, where it started getting traction on the internet. And then it kind of faded out, and since the TD Jakes came back up again with the latest things with the Diddy F offs, her story came back up also. And so about 2 Fridays ago, her home got broken into, and
Mm.
they took her safe. They took inside the safe, she had money. She had her kids' social security cards, birth certificates, and some other important papers of hers in there.
Mm.
And they also took her laptop and her iPad. Her neighbor across the street, she had a ring seatbelt camera, but the ring camera only caught the SUVs, two of them. The SUVs, not the people getting out the SUVs. So I guess the SUVs might have been parked where they couldn't see the door, the driver's sides, but they could see the SUVs. I don't know. Um, but anyway, she called the police, and the police came, and they're doing a thorough investigation. In fact, they made this case a high priority because they found out about what happened with her, son, with
Right.
Cora Jakes allegedly taking her son. Now, Michelle Lau is saying that she took the son because she's never relinquished her rights to her son. She's never signed any paperwork or anything. So she don't know how she could actually say that's her child. And Cora Jakes allegedly will not give this woman her child back. This has been going on for years. So what you have to say about that, Steve?
Well, this Cora Jakes, this is the same Cora Jakes that's married to Richard Coleman, and he's incarcerated now for touching their adoptive daughter.
Yes.
That's 13 at the moment, and this I believe took place a few years ago. So she was more like maybe 10. I just don't understand the whole Jakes family. Stemming from the head, T.D. Jakes. Briefly on T.D. Jakes, let me just inform y'all. T.D. Jakes is the founder of the Potter House, with a congregation of roughly 35,000. He's located in Dallas, Texas. Preaches a lot about homosexuality and how homosexuality is going to hell. But
but he was at those F-offs allegedly.
And then he goes back to the congregation weeks and months later saying, oh no, I said I had a problem with people and what they do. You know what I'm
saying? Exactly.
But it's amazing the type of kids that comes from his home.
Yeah.
You got Cora picking molesters. That's the oldest daughter. Then you got the son.
Wait, and allegedly stealing someone's child.
I apologize, touching the child allegedly.
And allegedly stealing someone's child.
And then allegedly you got the son. What was his crazy name? My bad. We did say it get hot in the building. We did say that.
That was good.
But Jermaine Jakes in a Dallas park, he get caught trying to solicit two undercover officers. Got his junk hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
And that was like down not too far from the Potter's house,
Right.
I believe.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the youngest daughter. She had her first child at 13. You know what I'm saying? And got 3 kids since by 3 different baby daddies. So they always said, in the Bible, that a person gotta have their own house running correctly before you can try to man a congregation.
Yeah.
Now you see how this day and time, with us having this episode about the pastors, look at the difference now. How they make a mockery of the house of God. You know what I'm saying? Compared to who I opened the show with, Dr. Martin Luther King. All of his kids followed in his steps of pastoring, ministering, activists for civil rights. every last one, even the late Coretta Scott, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
After her husband was gone, kept the fight. That's men in your household.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the difference between, now and then. It's totally different. And that's why we got the ruckus we have now. There's no stability, there's no morals, there's no values, there's no real men in the home. A lot of people, women and men have came from one parent homes.
That's true.
And so I'm not saying one parent can't do it, because don't get me wrong, I know a lot of single parents that have raised their children, put them through college, and they're doing masterful out here in this world. But what I'm saying is, you have more, you're more. You probably would go further if you come from a two-family household, especially if it's no cursing and just all that arguing. I would say the arguing and fighting and cursing. If you're not hearing that every day, and you're raised in a two-family household, everybody go to work. You see your parents going to work every day. You're gonna learn that that's what you do. You go to work and hard work.
It's structure established.
Right. It's right. Exactly. So that's the difference between now and then. So it's much different. You could just tell how society run now versus then. Okay, you said like then, we had actives. We looked after you looked up to your father or your mother, right? So if, like you said, in Dr. King, his kids, they followed, whether they was a preacher or they was an activist with a silver, whatever they followed in his steps, right? Because that's what they saw, and that's what they eventually believed in themselves. So following in his footsteps.
A fight for mankind.
Absolutely. A fight for something, or you fall for anything. And so that's the problem now. That's another difference. Back then, you'll see all Black people just marching, walking, fighting for something. You know what I mean? Even if they didn't get it, they tried and went out there and tried to stick together. Now there's no sticking together. We're fighting each other. We powering each other. I mean, it's just the things we're doing to each other as a society. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But I probably won't, because I don't think like that.
Absolutely not.
So,
but when you got pastors out here, like TD Jakes, that's more concerned with $700 Fendi shoes and $2,000 Gucci bags, of course they gonna lean more to the left of the alleged F-offs with the Diddy Cons and the rest of them, because that's more their lane. And it's sad to say that that's more their lane, you know what I'm saying, than the structure that they're supposed to be instilling as the head of the congregation.
Right. Exactly. And give it back to the community. When do they give back to the community? It's so much money being poured into churches. They should be building low-income apartments in their communities, where they see that, people need housing. They get a lot of money, especially the mega churches. You can forget about it. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't understand why people just keep going back and keep going back and keep going back. And that's why I come up with the conclusion, in my opinion, that it's a cult-like structure. Some churches, not all churches. I'm not talking about all churches, so please don't come attacking me. I'm talking about some churches.
You got to clarify yourself.
Yes, that's why I said that. I don't want nobody to be coming to email. No, don't come at me like that. Don't do it.
And now I just want to touch a pastor that or bishop that Jake's remind me of so much. And that's Eddie Long. Now,
Oh yeah. Woo, that's a character.
People think
that's a character right there.
people think Jake's is flashy. Eddie Long was flashy.
Yeah.
You know, he had the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. You know, and he passed away in 2017 at the age of 63. You know, he had a congregation of roughly 25,000. And, you know, let me briefly say, my people, because this man passed from cancer, I just mentioned that's the king passing from cancer. Please, our people, get those checkups. Cancer is taking us. Get those
Cancer
checkups.
screening. Cancer
It's very,
screening.
yes, I apologize. You know, look into that. It's vital for your life. Now back to now Eddie Long did the same thing as I mentioned with TD Jakes. You know, preaching that you know homosexuality. You know that's a sin. You go into hell. This, that, and the other. And what happened prior to his passing? Allegedly, four boys accused him of, you know, being touched, you know, essay. And
Well, they accused him of that before he passed.
I said before he passed.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said after.
And the suit that he claimed in front of his congregation he would fight to the end, he settled out of court for a good undisclosed amount a year later. You know, so I don't see innocent people coughing up money like that. So, what do you have to say on that, or anything?
Well, all I have to say is Eddie Long was another one of them Etta Owls. And because we can't say the word, so you got to read in between Etta Owls and
Absolutely.
or a Lester. And he was doing it in the congregation with the boys, and those were just four of the boys who actually came forward. We probably would never know if it was more or not, allegedly. But rumors are he settled between about 22 and 25 million between the four boys. But then after he died, Pastor Jamar Bryant took over New Birth Church in Atlanta, Georgia. New Birth is in Atlanta, Georgia. For those who don't know where the church is, it's in Atlanta, Georgia. And so Jamar Bryant takes over the church. Now, Jamar Bryant comes with his own baggage from Philadelphia. And I bet you Philadelphia was glad that he went to that church, because it was just so much chaotic. It was chaotic things going on in the church. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I think it was some lawsuits that were going on there. So when he got called, which I was surprised, to New Birth, and here's another pastor after the scandal you had with, Eddie Long. Now you're calling another pastor that's in a scandal, basically. And Jamar Bryant has a lot of children from different, women. Those of you who look at Housewives of Atlanta, Giselle, she has three. I'm sorry, Housewives of Potomac. Housewives of Potomac. Giselle has three of his children. And I believe she has a set of twins by him. So he's there, and he's Jamar Bryant wanted to grow weed on the property. Listen, I'm not making this stuff up, folks. This man, pastor, That's why I said these pastors be pastoring all kind of ways. Now listen, now how your pastor gonna, and now he made it be known he want to grow the weed because he feel that it's gonna help give jobs to the people that's coming out, of prison, help them, get on their feet, and the people in the church, the young men in the church get on their feet. The pastor want to grow the weed on the property of the church. Now, folks, something ain't right here. This is not right. This is like currently, like he said this like last year. This is not something I wish I was making it up, but I'm not. This is real talk. These people, something's wrong. Having said that, I don't know if you have any I don't know if you have anything to say about that, or if not.
What I have to say is this new co-pastor that he's so-called bringing into the church. I don't know if she a video vixen or if she's supposed to be a pastor. I just don't know. If this Dr. Pastor Carrie Turner
Of with Jabbar Bryant.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's supposed to be bringing her in as a co-pastor. I mean, if you follow her, look her up, people. Dr. Pastor Carrie Turner. I swear, I don't see nothing that say pastor.
Yeah, he's going to be pastoring her. That's why she's going to be the co-pastor. Allegedly. Allegedly.
But I think I done had enough fun with them two. Now, I'm going to tell you, this Christian rapper, Lecrae, I don't know why he chose to have done this one-on-one interview, to say how he goes to P. Diddy parties and what allegedly happens there.
Yeah.
Now his excuses is lame, saying how it's a good place to, meet business connections. It's a lot more places, that you can meet business people. And then
it depends on what kind of business.
That too. So don't say it's business, try to make it innocent business.
Right.
And then admit to going to Jamie Foxx parties, T.I. parties, Snoop Dogg parties.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Christian brother, you ain't so Christian, just like the rest of them. Yeah. I just don't understand none of them.
Because a lot, like we said, the pastors are not like the pastors back in the day. A lot of them get into it. It's a money thing. It's a money grab. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, like you said, sometimes the people are coming for the message, but unfortunately, they're getting it from the wrong messenger who's giving it to them. And so, yeah, that's when, and they'll know things about the pastor and still keep coming back and back. And so that's why I say, I don't like someone to say something to me more than 2 times, because I feel like after that, you're trying to indoctrinate me with whatever you're trying to say. Right. Now, yeah, don't keep saying something to me. That's because that is a sign of someone trying to indoctrinate you, to get you to just keep thinking what they want you to think, that what they're saying, they just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. No, don't do that. That's what they be doing in church. That's why I said them people like cult-like. It's no way in the world that I'm going to come there and I'm low income and I'm going to see you riding around in Benzes and Jaguars, and your kids are going, you got a jet, your kids got BMWs and Lexuses, and they going to private schools, and my child is going, I'm trying to come up with maybe school lunch for the kid. Maybe, my child getting free lunch, or if they not, they get maybe getting half a lunch. I mean, half price lunch. I might have to come up with money for that sometime. I may not have money to pay for my bills sometime, but I'm coming here and I'm giving you 10% for you to play in my face. And that is what I have a problem with.
Absolutely. I definitely agree 100% with you there.
So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to this pastor. Had this pastor, Chris Hill, right? Chris Hill, he is T.D. Jake's a spiritual son, not his actual son. He was the pastor at Potter's house in Denver from 2014 to 2017. Now, just a second, I gotta catch up with my notes here. Now, the first lady name is Joy Hill. She's Pastor Hill's wife, and she had a feeling that he was cheating on her. So what First Lady did, First Lady said, now wait a minute, my woman's intuition, I got a woman's intuition. So she hired her investigator. So the investigator went out there, and he concluded after about 6 weeks that yes, he was having an affair. And he was having an affair with their goddaughter, Shanae, allegedly. Having an affair with their goddaughter, Shanae. Now, I can't make this stuff up, people. I'm just telling you what's going on. Now, they also attended Shanae and her husband, I think his name is Arthur. They attended their wedding some years prior to that. They attended their wedding. So when the private investigator brings her back this information, First Lady Joy Hill decides, I'm going to send a mass text out to the congregation to let them know that Pastor done had an affair with our goddaughter, Shanae. So that's what she does. She sends a mass text out. So when he gets home, she confronts him about the information that she received from the private investigator, and he called the cops on her. He called the cops on her. I don't know. They basically told him, it's nothing they could do about anything. That's her house as well as his house. So what they are a married couple.
Right.
So the thing is, the next day, Shanae tried to say that her car got keyed overnight, and told the pastor that her car got keyed, and he told her to go call the police and press charges on his wife, Joy Hill.
Well, that don't surprise me any. This is one that I would have to do my personal research, because this Hill couple got past me. It's just so many of them out there. Trust me, it's impossible. A lot of them. It's impossible to keep up with them all. And
absolutely.
And like we saying here, people, it's okay to go for the word, because that's what you're supposed to be doing, going for the word. But like she just mentioned, there's a lot of us that's struggling for our dollar, and just to be going to allow these people to live lavish off of her hard-earned dollar. You know what I'm saying? You got to reevaluate that. You could put on spiritual music that preach on the radio, and you could be in church and it costs you nothing.
or listen to service in your home,
That's
either
what I'm
on
saying.
TV, or a lot of churches have links to their church where you could do it, get a Zoom and do it through the Zoom. So you don't have to actually go inside a church to believe in God or the worship Him. And
Right.
He knows where your heart is, rather you go to church or not. So you could dress up, get pretty, wear them fancy hats. The one I don't know, I haven't been to inside of a church in a while, so I don't know if they still wear the fancy hats. But I'm
Yeah,
sure they
yeah,
do.
yeah. The
Um,
grim,
you know, yeah,
the
them big old hats
grim
knocking you in your face. You're knocking me all in my face. Y'all paying all of that. You're collecting them in your closet. And y'all done went and got all these clothes and all this stuff. The thing is about that, a lot of them don't come out the church, and when they come out the church, they cussing you out like they just didn't have church. And that's why I don't believe in all that. I don't that okay. For me personally, I don't go into church because I haven't found the church to give back to their community. When I say give back to the community, I mean like we should be having where we collect clothes and stuff, where we, coats and clothes for people that may need them, like
Mhm.
that may be homeless, and we could give them a coat or a shirt or a sweater or something, a hoodie or something. We should be doing, giving out food when it's spring and it's summer, giving out dinners and lunches, things of that nature. Like I said, we should have an offering for the shit. I feel if you're in a church, your church should have a sick and shut in offering, which is when a member of your congregation that's a dedicated member that's been paying their tithes throughout time and they get sick and they can't pay their bill, you guys should be able to help them get through that time until they get back up on their feet because they were dedicated to that church throughout the years and have tithed much more money than you're probably going to give them until they get up on their feet. So if it's not a church like that, I don't really get into it. For one, number two, some things I do, I'm just not gonna go in church and play with God because He
Right.
knows what I do, which my
You know,
drinking, I smoke, and I'm proud of. And
and
He already know it. So I'm not gonna be doing that. Like I go to sleep late anyway, so I'm gonna be like halfway still probably blasted or something. I'm gonna go up in the church on the Sunday and then I'm in there like, yeah, praise the Lord, like that. No, I could do that from home after I'm gonna get all my sleep out and
absolutely.
I'm gonna have my church like I do with God on Sunday,
Hmm.
my prayers, and then I have my couple of people I look at on, on this TV that I look at. They have my service, and I'm happy with that. And God is happy with me for being happy with that, and that's all that mattered to me. So
That's all
that's
that's supposed to matter. You know,
yeah,
because you know, God gonna sit here and feel you, and know where your heart is at, regardless of where you go to praise Him at. You
right.
know, it's just
Hmm.
a lot of them older people are just stuck in their old ways. You know what I'm saying? As we sit here and say all the time, you can't change older people. They just stuck in their ways. That's real talk. So
Hmm.
what they accustomed to doing is what you could tell them until you blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say we just here to give the word. You know what I'm saying? What people do with it is what people do with it. You understand?
Absolutely. But I also think that they destroyed the church too when when they started saying, "Come as yourself." Okay, that's fine
Yeah,
to come as
yeah, yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah.
But listen, listen, there's people going to church that's half naked. Now, I don't think you should go to no church or worship half naked. Like that's just not professional in the setting of church.
Look
And
at
the
look
guys
at
sagging, and it's just it wasn't no boundary set when it was said to come as you are to church. They should have had boundaries, like
now.
you could wear jeans, you could wear sneakers, but don't come here half naked. Don't come here with your cleavage out, which they go to church with their cleavage hanging out. And this is crazy. So to
Like this,
me, it has disrupted the church also.
okay, the pastor woman with the Jamal pastor. What's his name again? Jamal what?
Bryant.
Jamal Bryant. His co-pastor, Carrie Turner. Now, you see her supposed to be giving a sermon on the pulpit with some cut up jeans on. Yo,
this is stuff I'm talking about.
Hey, you a pastor. You decked out like you going on a night on the town.
Excuse me.
You know what I'm saying? You decked out like you about to go out with your girls, get some drinks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Come on,
That's
man.
probably why he chose her, because she a roundaway girl. That's why he chose her. He need a ride or die chick. Because the way he roll, allegedly, he need that ride or die chick by his side. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be down, whatever's going down or whatever. That's a ride or die. Now, he just come off, allegedly, to me, in my opinion, he just come off like, he's something else. He's something else, Jamal Bryant.
That is true. Now, with that, what last person I'm gonna speak on is this Pastor Geno Jennings. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Who he loved cutting pastors up too. You know what I'm saying? And his main guy he loved cursing out is TD, as he called him TD Fakes. You know what I mean? And they tried to get the Black Caucus to shut him down. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying that, you know, the reckless pastors are coming together saying, you know, I guess he's bringing too much light to their darkness. You know what I'm saying?
But all he's saying is he just talking about what they preaching is it don't have anything to do with God.
Right.
That's what he's basically saying. That they're giving you a bunch of hogwash, trying to make it, you know, basically trying to make it spiritual, but they're demons. That's what he's saying.
In a nutshell.
In so many words. They don't like him because he shines the light on them. And that's why they don't like Jennings. Yeah, that's why they don't like him.
Yeah. So I just wanted to just mention him because what I've been listening to him, you know, I don't have anything reckless to say on him yet.
Right.
I got to put that in. Because it's like as soon as you start believing in one of these guys, they go off the rail.
Pop up, yeah. I haven't seen anything on him either. Only thing I've seen about him is him just, you know, he really be after TD Jakes. He be on his head. He won't take his foot off of it. He be like stomping on it. Like every time he walk, he take a step and he just step on his head. You don't miss it. But you're right about that. You're right about that.
But with that, it's on you, baby.
Okay, well, the last pastor I want to speak on is Pastor Jermaine Simmons. He's wait, I can't see. Pastor Jamar. You got me calling that Jamar Bryant. I don't need to have him in my head. That's the last person I need to keep up in my head. Okay, Pastor Jermaine Simmons Sr., who have pastored at Jacob Chapel Baptist Church since 2005. He is a fourth generation pastor in his family. So he went to his one of his congregation members. Her name is Cynthia Stevens. I'm sorry. Her name is Kalanisha Stevens. He went to her home to discuss some business that they were going to do together.
Okay.
Well, while at her home, he ended up sleeping with the woman in her bed that she shared with her husband.
Okay.
So they sleeping together in the bed, and they trying to get in touch with Clanisha. The school is her son's school is trying to get in touch with her, but they can't get in touch with her. So they call her husband to pick up the son from school, and so he picks up the son from school, and he ends up, getting home, and he finds her in the bed with the pastor. I can't make these stories up. I can't. I told you we can do a 2, a 3, and a 4. It's a lot of stories here.
Hey yo, that I don't mean to cut you off, but that brings me to the scene of Friday with the little midget chasing Bernie Mac. God bless Bernie. Chasing about the house.
Yo, that's So when he find him in the bed, he goes to the other room to get his pow. Mm-hmm. But when he returns back to the room, the pastor's gone.
Went out the window.
The pastor fled. He fled the scene. He left the house naked. I can't make this up. He left wait a minute, you ain't had nothing yet. He left the house naked allegedly and jumped the fence. He came back several hours later with the police so he could get his car, his keys, and his clothes. He had left for all that because he was naked when he left. So he brought the cops back to get all his stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't that something?
You know something? I know.
And this is another person in the congregation. Like, why you keep dealing with people in the congregation? Why you keep dealing with little boys in the congregation? Why y'all sleeping with women in the congregation? Why are these wives that know their husbands are doing this, meaning they're sleeping with men, because a lot of them know that their husbands are sleeping with men, and I can get into that because I got some pastors for that too. And then a lot of them know that their husbands are sleeping with other women, but they continue to stay.
And little girls. And little
girls, and they continue to stay because of status and whatever they're getting from it monetarily. You understand what I'm saying? So they rather look crazy and look stupid because everybody else know. It be them that act like they don't know. Everybody else be knowing.
Right.
So, yeah. That's the story on him. And that was my last story. But like I said, it's a lot of stories.
So, people, we're about to sign out, from the Ski and Sugar Show. But as y'all seen, we will be revisiting this because there's a whole lot more juicy meat on that bone. So with that, Ski signing out. And what you got to say to it, Sugar?
The next thing I think we got up on topic, it may be Jay-Z and Diddy, Jay-Z or Diddy, whichever one is coming up, because there's a lot of stuff out there. But don't forget, guys, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to hit the notification button so you won't miss any content coming out. Share this video and hit the like button on your way in or on your way out. Peace out.
And don't forget TikTok. Good night.